Welcome to Talk Wrestling with Jimmy and Frank. Uh, I wasn't planning on making a video, but I read something and I really made my blood boil. More excuses about Roman Reigns, and we'll be talking about Payback coming up. A lot riding on this pay-per-view because all this new era stuff with Shane and how the young talent's going to get pushed is really riding on the finish to the Roman Reigns and AJ Styles match. Of course, we've seen the Bullet Club and the City Gallows appear, and everybody's speculating about whose side they're going to be on, what's going to happen, and will Finn Balor be called up, and will he make an appearance? A lot of questions, and let me tell you, they better really make the right decision here because it could really blow up in their face. The fans are already on edge with Roman Reigns. They're obviously not behind him. They've seen this before with Cena, the golden booking. And I honestly think, and I speak for myself, that people don't hate Reigns, the person or the character. They just hate the WWE picking the guy. We saw it coming 2 years ago. He was going to replace John Cena as the next face of the company. And we know how the story ends. We saw it with Cena. We got 10 years of the same old. He beats everybody up. He can't be beat. Superman booking. He's King Kong. This past Monday on Raw, I didn't watch it, but I heard the first Make-A-Wish for Roman Reigns. I heard that they showed a Make-A-Wish promo, because that's what it is. It's a promo. Why else would you have cameras there and show it on TV? I mean, like I always say, people don't hate on the kids who are sick, but if you're doing it for charity or out of the goodness of your heart, why are you bringing cameras in there and showing it on TV? It's just to make people show Roman Reigns or whoever the wrestler is in a good light. How could you boo him? Look at this guy, what he did. He's talking to ill children. He's taking time out of his day, like he has anything else to do. It's his job, right? If you're going to be the face of the company, that's your job. That comes with the job, going and making appearances all day. So people have seen this before, and we know how the story ends. Like I said, he already took out Anderson and Gallows and AJ, not once but twice in the same show. He's King Kong. What's the point of watching it? Everybody's getting excited about all these new guys coming up and NXT members coming up. What's the point? They're never going to go anywhere. They're just going to be stuck in mud in the mid-card. Losing 1 week, winning the next week, losing the next week, winning the next week. And they'll never sniff the title. So anyway, let's just get on with the card real fast. It's so far, I looked at it, and honestly, I think on paper it's a much better card than WrestleMania. WrestleMania 32 was atrocious. So another big angle is Vince is going to decide who's going to take control of Raw. And we've been reading that the ratings are slipping again. They keep on slipping. And of course, I predicted this way back when Shane came back, that they would use Shane in case the ratings did slip. It'd be easy to blame it on him. And they'll say, see, we told you, he couldn't handle Raw. But we know Shane has no bearing on the ratings. He's not even making any calls. It's the same people in the truck making the same stupid calls and horrible booking. That's not going over. Anyway, we get a rematch again. Kalisto, the U.S. champion, against Ryback. This match was a dark match, pretty much, in WrestleMania. and the arena was half empty. People were stuck outside, and Callisto won. Is Ryback going to win now? Who knows? Who cares? It's. I think maybe Ryback will win, and his first opponent will be John Cena at the next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules, May 22nd. The next match we have Ziggler versus Corbin. Corbin recently got called up. He won the Honor the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Maybe they are hiring him, and they're looking to give him a big push. I think he should probably go over on Ziggler. Next, we have the potential for the feud of the year with Sami Zayn, who probably had as many fans opinion early match of the year candidate with Nakamura at NXT last month. He's got a lot of momentum, and the sky's the limit with him, in my opinion, and the fans. And he's going to be taking on his longtime rival, Kevin Owens. I think they are going to be feeding all the way to SummerSlam and maybe beyond. So I think maybe look for Kevin Owens to maybe win this one. And it'll be a slow build until Zayn finally gets his big win at SummerSlam. Next, we have The Miz and Cesaro for the IC belt. Cesaro's come back. He's got the new look. He's got the suit, and we've seen this before with WWE teasing us with Cesaro. Are they finally going to go all the way with him? Give him a big, strong push? Or is he just going to win the IC title and lose to Joe Schmo on SmackDown next week? What's the point? The fans are obviously behind them, despite what Vince McMahon says. And they want him to be a viable contender. That's what the whole thing about Reigns is. They focus on one guy, and everybody else they could hardly give a fuck about. So next we have Dean Ambrose versus Jericho. Going into WrestleMania, Dean Ambrose was without a doubt the most popular performer on the WWE main roster. And I knew once he wasn't going to get a slot in the main event, and they didn't make it a triple threat. That match with Brock Lesnar, that was just pulling the rug out from his feet, knocking Dean Ambrose back a couple notches because he was threatening the spotlight from Roman Reigns. So it's okay to keep Ambrose next to Reigns to leech off of him, leech off the popular star, because Reigns gets booed, but he got too big. And that's what happens when anybody gets too big or too popular. And if you're not the chosen guy, there's only one chosen guy or two chosen guys, they just pull the rug out from under your feet. It doesn't matter if the fans cheer or if the fans don't cheer. It just doesn't matter. This wasn't like that in the past. It mattered how much of a reaction you got, and plus how much of a good worker you were. And if you did those two things, if you were a good worker and you connected with the crowd, you were going places. But now in 2016, that's a death sentence. If you're a good worker and you get over with the fans, it's a death sentence. It means you're going to get screwed over and you're going to be losing 50-50% of the time. And next we have the recently called up Vaudevillains from NXT. They in a number one contenders match against Enzo and Big Cass. I said Big Cass, not Colin Cassidy. Who cares? This is for the number one contenders tag team match. I can't see the Vaudevillains winning this match. Enzo and Big Cass, they got a little nice thing going. People are obviously behind them. Enzo's really good on the mic. He's getting a good reaction, so I would suppose they're going to be the number one contenders to face New Day at Extreme Rules. The women's title, which was another good match. They're rehashing this. It's Charlotte and Natalya with Ric Flair in Charlotte's corner and Bret Hart supposedly coming to Natalya's corner. We've seen this match before. These two women, they tear the house down. They have really good matches. Uh, but we've seen this before, and I don't think that there's no way Natalya's going to win. Charlotte's going to go over. Now, the main event, and what I said before, everything's riding on this. It's Reigns versus AJ. Who's going to go? What's going to happen? What's the finish? I don't think they even know what the finish is. I'm not even going to predict the finish is. We know maybe the Bullet Club, Anderson, and Gallows will get involved somehow. Who will they side with? Will Balor get called up? There was recently, I think, a little work at NXT taping the other day where William Regal announced Finn Balor would stay at NXT and for a title match on June 8th. I don't think so. I think that's just a little swerve because fans are expecting Finn Balor to debut at Sunday or on Raw. Now, speaking of Roman Reigns, I read this little article on SB Nation Cage Side Seats, and Triple H is explaining why Roman Reigns is not over. And either he must think people are dumb, or he's dumb, or maybe he's just trying to be desperate and spin it. I'll read you the little article. I'll read you the article. He says, I think the world is a different place now. I think you're going to find it very hard now at the top level to find anyone that is either a good guy or a bad guy. Someone who is universally loved or universally disliked. It's very difficult. Really? I think that's part of the internet. Here we go. The internet. The internet is the deciding factor in the fan's mind. I think it's part of the internet. I think part of that is the internet. And that I don't care what the topic is, whether it's politics, music, sports, anything. You can go on the internet and find somebody who loves it and somebody who hates it. You can jump on whatever conversation you want to have with people who are like-minded to what you think or opposite-minded to what you think. And that emboldens your positions, right? What? What is he talking about? He's trying to say that people can't make up their mind now because they go on the internet and there's one way, there's people going one way and people going the other way, so you can't make up your mind. What, people don't talk on the phone? Well, people don't discuss wrestling at social gatherings? Do they really think that the only time people talk about wrestling is on the internet, on Facebook groups or forums? What? I don't get it. I really think they either think that we're dumb and they're trying to brainwash you into thinking that it's all the internet's fault, or they're really delusional, desperate, and in denial. People aren't booing Roman Reigns because of the internet or what people because people are swayed on the internet and can't make up their mind. People are booing Roman Reigns because we know how the story is going to end. Same old shit. King Kong. Why am I going to watch? I know how it's going to end. Everybody's excited about the young stars and the new stars coming in. Oh, we have the WWE roster is as talented now as it's ever been. Yeah, but what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Because no matter what, it's always going to be the Roman Reigns show. We don't want the Roman Reigns show. We don't want one person to dominate the show. This is what everybody's been screaming at for the last 12 years. Yes, I know everybody. It's a thing to scream and hate John Cena, but he was the victim of it. He was the victim of their booking too. Only I think he actually just doesn't care as long as he's in the top spot. But we don't want to see this. It has nothing to do with the internet. People talk at the barbershop. People talk at school. People talk at work. People talk at the bar. They know how it's going to end. And to tell you the truth, as much as I like Roman Reigns better than I like Cena as the champion or the top guy, quote, he's not really that charismatic on the mic. Is he athletically gifted and can he do a few things in the ring? Yeah. Does he have? Can he pull off some good matches? Yeah. But to have the show revolve around him, no. We know how it's going to work. At the end of the last year, Vince came back and they tried to rehash this Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon versus the top guy, and Reigns got over for 5 minutes. We've seen that story before. Jeez. And they make every excuse under the sun. If they tried if they put in half the effort that they do into spinning why their booking isn't working into creative, the show would be much better. How about instead of trying to put all your time and focus into spinning things, it's a creative. How many times do we read, oh, they made the decision on a major finish 2 hours before the show? What is that? That's like some director changing the script an hour before shooting the final movie scene. Yeah, of course we know sometimes things don't work and you're not sure and you don't want to pull the lever at the last minute. But geez, this happens all the time now. I'll bet you. They're probably still jumping around on the finish for the Sunday's match. What's going to happen? Anything but listening to the fans. That's what that's one thing that's a constant. They do everything opposite to please the fans. I've never seen that before. It's like some studio signs a big actor to a 4-movie deal, and they cast him into action movies. The first one bombs. The second one bombs. The guy's just not good in the role. He's not a believable action star. Or a different genre, romantic comedy. He's just not good as a romantic actor in a romantic comedy. Nobody's buying it. And the first movie tanks. The second movie tanks. The third movie tanks. You think they're gonna keep putting this actor in movies in the same role? What are they gonna say? Oh, it's the fans. Nowadays they're on the internet and they get swayed. Some people love it. Some people hate it. What? Jeez. And everybody's, like I said, everybody's excited about the new stars. Go ahead, enjoy. At least you have something to enjoy. But please don't pin your hopes on any of these guys. Only to get disappointed. Enjoy them for each match that you see, but don't emotionally invest in any performer because they're going nowhere. Oh, this guy's getting called up to the main roster. So what? How many times have we seen this? The first night they get a fancy entrance, a huge pop. What happens a week later? They're in a match against The Miz. They lose. Well, then they're on a pay-per-view. Oh, yeah, I think he's really going to go over. And they lose. They lost twice. The next night, they're not even on Raw. They show up on SmackDown on Thursday. It's some goofy segment. Well, anyway, I just wanted to make this, taking a break. I'm sure me and Jimmy will make a post payback episode later on in the week. Let's just see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm out.